Today we are going to do the second part of our meal plan video. So if you will find your sheet that you did with all of your meals on it, and we are going to work on making a grocery shopping list. The way I do my list is a little different. I'm going to go through each of the meals and then write down what I need. So for instance, let's look at the second. That's our first meal because remember we were out of town on the first. And that is spaghetti. Now for spaghetti, I'll need pasta. And out to the side, I'm going to put a 2 because I'm going to use that on the second of the month. Then we need ground beef. I'm going to put a 2. And then we need, let's see, sauce. So I'll put pasta sauce and a 2. And maybe I'll do some garlic bread. And then I'll put a 2. Oop. Then for the third, I need Mexican chicken. So I'll need frozen chicken. And that gets a 3. And I'll need salsa. And that gets a 3. And then corn chips, because that's what we'll use on the side. That gets a 3. And also Mexican cheese. And that gets a 3. On the fourth, we'll grill out bacon cheeseburgers. Now for this, I'm going to need a pound of ground beef. So I'm going to come back up next to my ground beef and put 4 twice because each one of the numbers counts for half a pound, and that's going to let me know that I need a full pound. Then let's see, I'm going to need sliced cheese, and that gets a 4. And also hamburger buns. That gets a 4. And let's do bacon. That gets a 4. Actually, I use bacon bits because I take the real bacon bits that you put on salad and mix it inside the hamburger meat, and then that is what I do before we grill out to make bacon cheeseburgers. The 5th is Pantry Clean, don't need anything. The 6th is beef risotto, so I need risotto rice, and that gets a 6. I need canned beef, that gets a 6. And then I need beef stock, and I'm going to need 2 containers of that, so I put that down twice, 6, 6. Pizza rolls, that's easy. Pizza rolls. I'm going to need 2 bags of whatever's on sale. Jambalaya. For jambalaya, I'm going to need jambalaya mix, so I put an 8. I'm going to have that with garlic bread, so up here where I have the 2, I'm going to put an 8. And then I also am going to need some beef sausage. So that gets an 8. So I just go through my list, and I'm going to write down exactly how much I need as I go through what I need and what date I need it on. Now this is important because when I come back, I will look at how many pounds of ground beef I need total. Now keep in mind each of these is worth half a pound. And then I'll look at how many jars of pasta sauce I need and how many things of garlic bread. And I will take this to the grocery store with the total. It takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do all my grocery shopping. I usually do it in 2 sets. Once I'll go around the outside of the store and get all of the non-perishables and things like that. Take that out to the car after I pay and come back in and get the frozen food and the fresh meat and then pay for that. Then I come home and I will take each of these items as I'm unpacking it with this list. And so my husband will pull out the bacon bits, and he'll say bacon bits, and I'll look at the bacon bits and say 4, and we'll use a Sharpie marker, a black Sharpie marker, and put a giant 4 on the bacon bits. That means, and all my kids know this, that if the food has a number on it, it's not to be eaten. It is for a meal. If the food does not have a number on it, then they can go ahead and have it for snack. Or if the number's already passed. So for instance, if I buy a bag of corn chips and put a 3 on it, and then for some reason we don't eat Mexican that night, or there's Mexican corn chips left over and it's the 6th, my kids know that by looking at it, if it's past the 3rd, then the chips are free to be eaten. This super helps with me looking for ingredients and not being able to find it because somebody didn't realize that it was for a meal. And it also helps the kids actually see what is the meal plan, what's going to be there. I usually type this up on a calendar and that goes on the fridge, and then plus it's in my planner so I can see the entire month. One of the other tips that my sister actually had, because her husband is a firefighter, so anyone who has a spouse that works shift work, when she went through and made her list, instead of using the dots for crock pot meals, she used her dots to indicate when her husband was going to be on shift, so she'd know when she needed to make a larger meal because there'd be 2 adults in the house plus the kids, and when she could make something simpler because it was just her and my niece and nephew. So use the dots to your advantage. Whatever your situation is, make that work for you. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up real quick, and then I'll show you the end result of what the grocery store list looks like. Now, as you can see, this is my full list of everything I need with the numbers beside it. I like to keep certain things on hand. For instance, white rice. I have a giant bucket of white rice, so I know that I don't need to write that down for the days that I need rice, like red beans and rice day and Hawaiian chicken. Also, sometimes I like to just not plan what sides I'm going to have with every meal. Sometimes I do, like for instance, we will have chicken nuggets and fries because we do frozen fries with our chicken nuggets. And then my daughter wanted peanut butter and jelly with green beans, so I know we'll have green beans that day. But sometimes I just like to take a little money and buy whatever sides are on sale. If mashed potatoes are buy one get one free, that's what we're gonna get. If mac and cheese is on sale, then that's what we get. If some of the canned vegetables are on sale or fresh vegetables are on sale, that's what we get, and those are our sides. After that, this is all my dinners. I will then look at what we're going to do for breakfast, and I usually do those separately just as a short list. I know that we'll get some Pop-Tarts because that is a special treat that my kids love. We'll do muffin mixes because those are easy to get and then make and throw in the freezer. And then I'll probably do some sort of cereal depending on what's on sale. For lunches, I like ramen because the kids enjoy it and it's easy to do, and then I'll see what kind of soup is on sale. So that's it. I'll take this and I'm ready to go to the grocery store. Bye.